Hey guys, welcome to Twin Flame Truth TV. I'm Elle Hari, Twin Flame Alchemist, writer, teacher, and coach. And in today's episode, we're going to be discussing the tipping point. I will get into what that is exactly in a minute. But I wanted to first tell you why the tipping point is even a topic of discussion at all. So here's the thing. Remember, your fear-based energy, your push fear-based energy that became activated at soul recognition, which is controlling all these, putting all the obsessive thoughts about your twin flame into your mind, which is desperate and needy and longing for your physical form of your twin flame, and all of that, responsible for your highs and your lows, all of that fun stuff. That fear-based push energy is addictive. Don't forget that. Its drug of choice is the physical form of your twin flame. And so just like with any addiction, when you are with or communicating with or around or, this fear-based energy of yours gets a hit off of its drug of choice, which is the physical form of the twin flame, it has you tricked into believing that you feel happy, that you are happy with that. That happiness is an illusion. It's surface happy. It is not real. Just like, when people are addicted to, say, drugs, maybe when they're actually in the act of ingesting their drugs, they feel some kind of relief or some kind of high, but underneath it all, they're not happy. They're not happy people, without that drug, they're not happy. And that's not true happiness. Happiness doesn't rely on something outside of you, right? They are not happy. And that's an illusion. It's surface happiness. And so I'm here to tell you today that that's exactly what's going on with your twin flame. You may believe that when you're with your twin flame, you are happy. And I mean that, you're just in bliss and they're the best you could ever feel. But underneath it all, there's a knowing in there that, you're not happy. Because why? Because the entire time that you're with the physical form of your twin flame or interacting with your twin flame, it's almost like, you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. Or it's just that, it's just appeasing that yearning, that longing, that wanting, enough to give you some relief from that. But the entire time, that underneath it all, this isn't real happiness. It's not, because that underlying, that feeling of relief, of fake happiness, surface happiness, what that is fear-based energy. And when you have an underlying undercurrent of fear that you're feeling and that is there, there's no happiness there. It's constant stress and worry and anxiety underlying it all. Take away the high, the initial high of interacting with your twin flame again after a while or whatever, and then you still have that underlying fear. That fear doesn't just go away. When your twin flame comes back in, the fear is always there. And of course, as it's there, it's going to build up again. And then what? Push out, and your twin flame is going to pull away again. So this brings us to the tipping point. This is what I call the tipping point. So now it's true. You may have thought like you felt amazing happiness and the best time of your life during the honeymoon period with your twin flame. That is the time from soul recognition, when your soul recognized itself within the physical body of your twin flame, to the time of the tipping point. And so I'm going to discuss that time right now. So at soul recognition, when your soul recognizes itself within the body of your twin flame, and this happens on the deepest soul subconscious level. Most people don't know, they cannot pinpoint when this exactly happens. What they can pinpoint is the tipping point. So from soul recognition to the tipping point, what's going on? Your fear-based, your energy becomes polarized within, you're the same energy as your twin flame. So that whole energetic field within you and your twin flame that you share becomes polarized. The polarities are building up. They're building up. And that build up, it is getting, you feel it. you're getting higher and higher with it, right? That is the high. That is the highest high you've ever felt. And that's why you feel like it's the most happy you've ever been. And it's, the most blissful feelings you've ever felt. It's the highest high. It is the recognition and the feeling of the drug of choice of your fear-based push energy, that addict energy. It's getting its first high from ever. And they always say the first high is the best high, right? With everything. And that's true with this as well. And this is called the honeymoon period. From that point when your energy starts to activate and build up until you reach the tipping point. It builds up for both you and your twin flame together. And it's amazing. But remember, it's polarities building up. And for twin flames, what does that mean? Polarities are push-pull. So it builds up, and then it reaches this point, this tipping point, when all of a sudden those polarities, they push-pull. So they can no longer be together, they push-pull. And so at that moment of the tipping point, that is when it just flips, right? So instead of that build-up and the feeling and the high, you reach the highest point, the highest pinnacle, and then it changes. It just changes. And most people, if you're honest with yourself, and if you think back, you can, my students all can, I can, you can pinpoint the exact moment that happened. And it usually does happen at the time when, something really, you feel like very, the most connected with your twin flame that you've ever felt physically, right? Like it might be a time when you shared, a look, just a longing look into each other's eyes. And you just felt the most at home. And it was just the best thing you've ever felt. And then from that moment on, starts to go downhill, right? It starts to, you feel your fear-based energy. You feel it like your twin flame kind of pulling away and you're just pushing and trying to grasp. And it, you find your twin flame maybe not being honest with you, or you're questioning your twin flame, or you're just not trusting your twin flame as much, right? And the twin flame's kind of like starting to disappear, or they could disappear all at once, right? But it's all from that tipping point. And if you think back, you can really pinpoint that tipping point. And so from that tipping point on, you're no longer feeling the blissful feelings that you felt of your honeymoon period. You no longer are, because your polarized fear-based energy is there. Your push addictive fear-based energy is there, pushing and pushing. And because it reached the tipping point, your twin flame is pulling and pulling in tandem, right? And yes, you could be in the twin flame dynamic. Remember, there's two different common twin flame dynamics. There's the one where the twin flame ghosts, the pull twin flame just ghosts, and they're gone, right? You don't hear from them for like long periods of time. And then there's the other dynamic where the twin flame, you're stuck in a push-pull relating pattern with the twin flame. Both are valid. Both are, perfect for whichever your situation and your journey, how it's meant to play out and manifest physically. That's perfect. But, even if you're stuck in the back and forth push-pull dynamic with your twin flame, every time they come in, it's not like, it's fake happy. And you're going to get a little high again. Your resident junkie push addict energy is going to get a little high again from its drug of choice. But, like all highs, when you come up, you must come down. And like I mentioned before, the high is never as high as the first high, right? And so, but happiness, true happiness is stable. It's eternal. It's peaceful. You don't have the ups and downs. You don't all of a sudden feel like on top of the world, and then all of a sudden, dependent on what some other thing or person outside of you is doing, that can be all taken away and you come crashing back down again. That's not happiness. Happiness is constant. It just is. It's balanced. It's constant. So, I just wanted to explain this to you because, so many people, they're under the impression that their twin flame is they're happy when they're with their twin flame. Their twin flame is making them happy, and that's like the most happiness they could ever known. No, and that's not true. It is fake happiness. And if you're honest with yourself, you will know that. And if you really, really look and analyze and I try to identify your fear-based push energy, you will know the moment it started and it started to creep in from that tipping point. And it's also when your twin flame started to pull away. And you will also know that, if you are in the back and forth push-pull relating dynamic and your twin flame does come in periodically, you will know that you are not fully happy there. if you're honest with yourself, there's always that undercurrent of anxiety, of nervousness, of fear, of, you kind of not being true to yourself here because you are, your twin flame still with someone else, or, your twin flame, is not, there in the way, like, you truly desire, and you're not, acting in a way you truly are to your truth with your twin flame. And here's something else that's interesting that everyone needs to resonate with. Once you do balance out your push-pull fear-based energy, and you are, should you choose that to be your path, in a physical relationship with your twin flame, or even interacting with your twin flame, or friends with your twin flame, or whatever, it will never go back to feeling like it did with the honeymoon period. Because the honeymoon period was all fear-based energy as well. It just hadn't reached a tipping point yet. But it was the fear-based energy building up, remember? Once you're balanced, there's no more fear-based energy. It's gone. So you're not going to have those feelings of buildup. It doesn't feel the same. It's not the same type of relating experience that you once had. So you will never go back to those feelings. It's important to resonate with that, because yes, they felt amazing. They were the best feelings of your life. I get that. But they were not real. They were surface. They were fake. They were an illusion. And like all fear is an illusion. So it's important to resonate with that, because I think many people out there think that, every time that their twin flame comes in, if they're in the back and forth relating cycle, or, they're working on this and they're trying and hoping to get back to the way they were with their twin flame originally when, they first had soul recognition and it felt amazing and the best it felt, it's not going to be that way. It can't be that way, because in order to even physically be, in the same, physical location as your twin flame, there needs to be no fear-based push-pull energy there at all. And all of those good feelings, they were illusion. They were surface. They were from fear-based energy. So we take out the fear-based energy and we don't have that. We have calm, peace, contentment, bliss. We have just ourselves, where we know that we are happiness. We have it all already inside. So we are just meh about whatever the physical form of the twin flame is doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and where the physical form of the twin flame might be located physically, right? Whether they're right next to you or on the other side of the planet. At that point, it doesn't matter, because no one can ever change your happiness, because you are happiness. And that's when you shift closer into alignment with your soul, what you get from this journey. So I really wanted to come on here today to illustrate that there is a tipping point. And if you think back, if you're honest with yourself and you really, identify where your fear-based energy is, because that's what's needed on this journey, it's required to be honest with yourself, that you will know that there was an exact moment when it tipped, when it just changed, when it flipped. And that's for everyone on this journey. And whether or not you can pinpoint that exact moment, it doesn't really matter. That's really irrelevant. But what you need to understand is that everything from soul recognition to that moment was an illusion and fake, even though it felt the most amazing fear-based feeling. You could feel the most amazing high. And everything from the tipping point till now, till the rest of your lifetime, regardless of where your twin flame is or not, if you're balanced or not, whatever, that's all like not happiness either. That is surface happiness. No, once you're balanced, it's happiness, but it doesn't have to do with your twin flame at all, where they are. Anything having to do with your twin flame, the physical form of your twin flame, if you think that, you relate your happiness or equate your happiness to that, then it's not happiness. It's surface happiness, it's illusion, and it's not real. Real happiness is within, it's you. It is your soul, your twin flame soul. Your twin flame is not that physical body, your twin flame is your soul. Like I always say. So real happiness comes from aligning closer to your soul and getting rid of, balancing out, transmuting, alchemizing that fear-based energy that you and your twin flame share. So I hope this helps illustrate a little bit more about what's going on, and to help you maybe unhook your fear-based energy from wanting to so desperately get back to that place that you were with your twin flame, when you first had soul recognition, before you reached the tipping point, because that's not real. That's not going to happen. It felt amazing, yes. It felt surface amazing. It was the biggest high of your life, yes. But we need to break that addiction And you're never going to get as high as you did the first time anyway. It just can't happen. So break the addiction. Go for true happiness, not surface happiness, not surface feelings. True, consistent, constant level, balanced happiness. Yourself and your true twin flame. Thanks for watching this episode. Have a great week, everyone, and lots of love.